What is going on, everybody? We got something cool for you today. We got something cool, and that is an RSL round of 8 match. It's going to be casted from replays between two of the top dogs, the big money contenders, the big boys of this tournament. So without further ado, let's dive on in. In the bottom left-hand corner, we got the yellow Terran player, EterNal. And he's going to be going up against Purple Zerg, Steven. Now, again, this is the round of 8. This has happened. We're going at this from replays, so going to be tossing that overlay up in between matches, so that yeah, if you haven't seen the result, or if you're watching the VOD or the VOD of a replay, the point is that it won't be spoiled. It's the long and short of it. But anyway, like I was saying, this was maybe the most exciting match of the round of 8 for me. Just going into it, because I mean, TVZ, what's not to like? It's a super exciting matchup to watch. And B, I mean, but these guys are really freaking good. I mean, I think EterNal, EterNal is probably, most people, you know, even before the round of 32, would have said he is one of the favorites to win the whole thing. And Steven, given that, you know, there's a lot of Risen people in the RSL, and he's, of course, representing Pigpan, Pig's clan. Yes, I do realize that rhymes. Maybe people didn't know quite as much about him as they would at EterNal, who we've seen a little bit more from, but shown some really solid play. So shown that he's not afraid to dig out the spicy builds and flex on people a little bit. He beat a 5K Terran, I think, in the round of 16 to take first in his group. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. This is it's a clash of the Titans, guys, and they're gonna come out here. They're gonna strut their stuff, and it is our privilege to watch and enjoy. Taking a look at the actual things that are going on in the game, though, this is a classic EterNal, right? He Reaper expands off an SCV Scout, and then he's gonna go into his Reactored Hellions, probably get a Banshee or two behind it. Steven, on the other hand, double gas, super fast lair, super fast Roach Warren. In the current meta, I think we all know what that means. Generally, it's going to be a Nidus play, which it's certainly one of the flavor of the month builds right now. It's a very strong build, and that scan is a very important scan, because you know, obviously, I can identify that seeing everything. If EterNal sees that the lair is completed and that there's a Roach Warren done, he's got to know. He's got to know in this meta what's coming his way. The Nidus network is down in the natural, so he didn't get the huge big money. I literally am the all-seeing eye of Sauron that sees all scan, but I think he's gotten enough to probably infer, especially seeing there's no third base as well. Pokes at the front, sees that there's roaches made, but at the same time, this Nidus is probably going to go down in that corner, and there's not a lot in position. And if you let the units get out of the Nidus, things can kind of, yes, this is game 1. Oh, I got to put up the score. I will do that after this match. But yes, this is game 1. If the units get out of the Nidus, things can snowball really, really quickly. These queens add a lot of sustainability to roaches, which are already very tanky. This Banshee is, of course, very nice, but it is going to get zoned by the queens, and that is a deny on Cloak, which means that this Banshee cannot go near these queens. It's just going to die. The roaches are running down a tank, some nice micro in the back there, but also this Nidus is still alive. We'll have to keep our eye on that one. A lot of SCV, or actually not very many SCVs going down just yet. Only 4, now 5. Ooh, but if he sends some units, and there they are. Units in both sides of the base, really stretching the defense of EterNal. He's trying to micro, and he's microing pretty well, but there's just so many fronts of damage that are coming at him. In his natural, in his main, these queens are just being an ever-annoying presence to not let Banshees get done what they need to get done. This tank, clutch, smashing some roaches, and it will stay alive. That's very important. It adds a lot of DPS. And these queens are kind of stranded. They definitely need to get back to creep. But in the background, so much damage going on. In the natural, too. That's a big deal. Really needs that CC. Really needs that CC. A fast third CC is very, very, very important to a Terran bouncing back from a build like this. He's lost 28 SCVs, right? He's lost a large proportion of his economy. And so, ooh, oh no. He needs to get down there and finish. If he finishes that, obviously he can lift it and run away. But, you know, with the triple mule, the bonus SCV production, all of this is absolutely vital. If, you know, because I think at this point, with the tanks out, and the fact that he's cleared out the Nidus in his main, like, EterNal's not going to die from this. Okay, good. He finishes the CC, and he will escape with it. So like I said, EterNal is not going to die from this. He's taken a lot of damage, sure. And we see that behind this, Steven is starting to transition. He kind of sees that, you know, likely he's gotten the damage done that he's going to get done with this initial aggression. But at the same time, taking a look, 29 workers. It's a lot of, that's a lot of damage. And if he can establish a third base, get his drone count up, I mean, I think the onus, the burden, is going to be on EterNal to make something happen. What's the worker count look like? Yeah, it's 30 to 17. With the triple CC, he's going to be able to recover that SCV count relatively quickly, but still, you know, not retaking the natural yet, still needs to clear everything out, and all of this takes time. All of that takes time, and time is what Steven needs. He needs time to get up a third, he needs time to drone up, he needs time to get upgrades, get the roach speed, like, it's a race against the clock. Actually, a pretty big supply block coming in here for Steven. Another scan in the main. Sees nothing on gas, which is... Oh, and scanning the third, too. But the fact that he pulled out a gas reads to me like he wants to power up his economy. Maybe he'll go for a huge Ling Swell, but I would guess he wants more hatcheries, he wants more drones, and he wants less of things like roaches. That are going to be a really big gas dump. Another important thing... to note, right, he went for a very aggressive build. He committed a lot of queens on the offense early, which has severely hampered this creep spread. Now, again, he got a lot done. He got a lot done with those queens. They added a lot to that attack. But at the same time, when you're recovering from a very aggressive play like that, there are always drawbacks. And with something like this, the creep spread is certainly one of them. Certainly. EterNal does such a great job at bouncing back here, though. Like, taking a look, he's already back up at 31 SCVs to the 34 of his opponent, almost getting back in the economic game completely. And I think with Mules, like, he's getting stim, as I wildly move the camera. He's established his 3 racks. You know, his production, as far as 2 base, it's solid. And I just think that maybe this third base from Steven was a little bit later than it needed to be to really solidify an advantage he could have gotten. Ooh, is that to friendly fire? Does that friendly fire? It does not friendly fire. Okay. So that's kind of a wishful Nidus. I think maybe he was going for like trying to friendly fire onto the tank. Because you got to know that's not going to get up. The Overseer is forced out though, and oh, goody goodness, that's a lot of Zerglings, and they are running on into the natural. This tank gets some good shots in, but is completely exposed, and it is going to die. All the Lings trade out, so I think that's about even. I mean, if he were more established on 3 bases, I would say that's definitely worth it for the Zerg, but at this point, he wants larva, and he wants minerals devoted to drones and hatches and queens and just macro-y things. But at the same time, nice pick off on a tank. When EterNal does decide to push out, obviously, that's contingent on having a decent tank count. Infestation pit coming up, so gonna be powering up to that hive. I would like to see him take these gases pretty soon. As you oh, he doesn't even have the natural ones either. Yeah, he really needs to power up his gases if he wants to go up to hive. I feel like that's a... Ambitious strategy to do that on only 2, but he's still got time to do that. He's getting the +2 attack. Let's take a look at the upgrades. That's going to be a big deal. If he's fighting at +2 attack against 0/0 bio, I mean, those Zerglings are going to trade out themselves pretty well. Excuse me. They're going to trade pretty well, and especially if you can get up to the hive and get like adrenal glands or something, you know, not the most gas-intensive investment on the hive, like those Zerglings are just going to chew through everything very, very quickly. EterNal is starting to get aggressive out on the map now, though. Going to limit this creep spread even more. Keep in mind, it's already been hampered. A lot of queens here. I think he's going to have to back up. One of those medevacs is destroyed. And he is going to hightail it out of here for now. But behind this, establishing the third base of his own. Things are really kind of evening out here in terms of the supply. I think Steven's supply is a little bit low, but I think that part of that is that he's committing a lot of resources right now to tech, right? His end game isn't the units that he's building now. It's going to be getting, you know, crucial upgrades on the hive tech for those upgrades, or for those units, and then possibly Ultralisks or Broodlords down the line. Now this could be good. If he can get in here and maybe deny this forward. No, he's going to go into the natural. He's going to go into the natural. Ooh, Spore Crawler, getting some clutch damage in. Oh, he's going to see the hive, though. That's very important. It's very important to see the hive. Knowing the timing of that might kind of cue him to do a big attack, right? As Zerg and Protoss players, or as Terran and Protoss players know, you know, a little bit after the hive gets done, the Zerg is going to experience a huge power spike, one way or another. It's going to happen. But that power spike is generally going to be also including a saving up of minerals, an investment of minerals in upgrades, right? Things that aren't units. So I think that that might trigger EterNal to do a timing here pretty soon. Maybe I'm wrong. 4th CC gonna come up. Ooh, now that is very annoying, and I think it's a very, very smart play, right? You're teching up, you're playing a longer game, you're going for the long haul. The smart thing to do here is to buy time, and this certainly buys him time, as he is going to, oh, send a few roaches out. They are going to die, but at the same time, in the natural, this tank, oh, it's going to die to Lings. It's going to die to Lings. That's another tank that goes down, and whoa, here comes the boys. Oh gosh, oh gosh, oh gosh, oh gosh. 28 ooh, almost the CC. 28 SCVs going down there. That is a lot. That is a lot. And Steven doing a great job at knocking his opponent back down after he'd reestablished that economy. That's a lot of SCVs to lose. And once again, he's regained the supply lead. He pulls his opponent over here, and again, we see he counterattacks on the other side. Some great multi-pronging coming out from our Zerg player. He's going to trade out some of the Ling Bane, but he's going to get 2 tanks for his trouble. And oh, if he targets the CC, oh, EterNal pulls away. I think he sees it. Oh, the CC goes down. The CC goes down. So that means that this 4th base is actually a 3rd base, but at the same time, EterNal's over here. He's putting on the pressure. Are there any Banelings? That's the big question. It looks like he's coming in for a flank on the bottom. These Zerglings on the top are not enough to hold on to this. Steven's pulling back. Here comes the flank. The Zerglings, the Banelings coming in from every angle. Oh, hot pickups by EterNal. Oh, just in time before his army is obliterated. Necessary hot pickups there, and he's going to start dropping into the main. This army from Steven, though, is very mobile, and it is about to be mobile and powerful, as we see +3 attack, we see adrenal glands, and we see chitinous plating and ultralisks on the way. If he's allowed to establish all of these things, this Zerg army is going to be a nightmare to deal with, especially on creep, and that creep has been pushed out solidly, at least on this side of the map. EterNal reeling a little bit, I think, from those counterattacks. He's still on 2 base for now. He's going to reestablish this base, but through those multi-prongs and those attacks, Steven maneuvered himself into a spot where he's not dealing with a 4-base Terran, which he very much could be right now if he had left EterNal completely alone, but instead, a 2-base Terran that's trying to reestablish a 3rd base that he needs to sustain this pressure. But still, I don't think EterNal's out of this yet. Let's take a look at the upgrades. Yeah, he's got 1-1, and Hopefully he's got some gas, so hopefully he can find the budget, even though he did lose the thirds. That's probably partially why, to squeeze that 2-2 out, because he's going to do no damage to Chitinous Plating Ultra Den. Oh, no. This is going to be another big counterattack. There's a Widowmine. It's going to get a great hit. Is it? Is it? Is it? Is it? Yes, it is. But still, oh my gosh, more and more SCVs going down. He's across the map. He's doing a push here at the 4th as well, but there's Lings in the main. There's Lings in the natural. There's SCVs going down everywhere, and they are trading blows, but I think that Steven's economy is bigger and he can afford to take those blows more than EterNal can right now. We see he's went up almost 70 supply. Overlords are going down, which is going to supply block Steven pretty heavily, but I think he might have the army to deal with it, because here come the Ultralisks, and they do not give a single darn about any of that. Oh no, GG is called. We don't get the nice GG screen, because it is from replays. But I'm going to put up this. And I'm going to throw up my overlay and load up the next replay, and we're going to get on into it. So stay tuned. It's going to be a very short break. All right. Here we go, guys. There's no in-game sound. There should have been. Anyway, getting on into game number 2 here. We're going to go on to Automaton. And I'm pretty hyped. In the top right-hand corner. Down but not out. It's the yellow Terran player, EterNal. And his opponent, showing that he's got the skills that are needed to pay the bills. In map number 1, it is Pigpan Steven. And it's interesting that he pulled out the, I mean, Night of Sing is not bad on New Repugnancy, but I would definitely think of, yeah, my game sound is clipping in and out, and I don't know why it's doing that. Well, never mind. Scratch that chain of thought, because that is a hatchery in the natural, but not his natural, and his opponent's natural. And I actually saw him do this to great effect before, but when it worked as hard as it did and delayed his opponent's expansion, it was not scouted. And EterNal has seen this almost right away, which means he's going to pull an amount of SCVs that I assume will not let this finish. In the background, we see that, okay, so this is not like a I'm going to proxy hatch you and kill you. I think this is like, I want to delay your expansion, because, I mean, clearly in the background, we see he's droning. We see he's getting his natural up. So I think that if this just has to get canceled, that overall it's probably not worth it, because I don't think it's going to end up delaying the natural here by much unless it finishes, which it might. It might finish. Is it going to cancel it? That is the question. Okay, he does drop the cancel. And I guess he did pull a lot of SCVs off mining for a while there. Oh. That drone took a lot of punches, but it stayed strong. Meanwhile, the Reaper of EterNal is going to get across the map, and it is going to do some scouting, which I don't blame it after seeing a proxy hatch like that. Starting to go to town on the drones is this Reaper. Ooh, might get trapped. Oh, that is annoying. That's very annoying. That Reaper is really EterNal's only unit and his only map presence right now, so to lose that while not game-shattering, certainly is not what he wants. Looks like it is going to be the reactored Hellions, although slightly delayed. The build order is just a little bit off, I think, because of, I mean, the fact that there was a hatchery in his natural. But it's the just same general game plan as before. Along with the third base, up for Steven. Much faster than the previous game, so, oh no. That's 4 Lings. They're going to chase down 2 Marines. Kiting is very strong, and he did it well. And thus he forced the Zerglings away from his base. Starport coming up in the background. EterNal is, yep, getting ready to take the low ground on the back of these Hellions. Steven, did he do an extractor trick, or did he lose an Overlord? He must have extractor tricked. Okay, cool. 7 more drones on the way, but hitting another supply block is Steven. And, you know, 1 or 2 supply blocks, not the end of the world, but that does start to add up over time. And here come the Hellions. It's only 2 for now. Oh, it's only 4 for now, like I said. But 4 to 6 Hellions, as we've kind of seen in some of the pro matches, right? If you can get them... Wait, where's he scanning? Oh, he's scanning in the main. Okay. If you can get them in, they can just end a friggin' game, man. They can just end a friggin' game. But Steven, for now, has his queens in great position. He's gonna go ahead and block it. And keep in mind, Banshees and Cloak coming out this time. Cloak's not gonna be canceled because there's no Nidus for him, so he's gonna have to deal with the Cloak Banshees as well. Actually, getting into the Natch or the third base here, where there are some drones that are undefended, they will meet their demise quite horribly. Actually, might be able to get a trap here on these Hellions though. Ooh, might be able to block the retreat. Nice maneuvering so far, though, and is able to clear everything out. And there's actually 2 more behind this as well. This is a lot of Hellions. He's pulled the queens out of position over to the third. He might be able to dive into the natural, and that's exactly what he is going to do. Oh, no. Is he going to go to the main? Nope, he's going to go into the natural, and that is a lot of drones that are not defended. Oof. Lots of drones going down. Oh, no, he's going to line it up a little bit. Oh, a nice pullback to minimize the damage, but... I mean, that's at the end of the day what he's doing here. He's, minimizing the damage. This is catastrophic amounts of damage from the Hellions. This is, let's take a look. 19. That is 19 drones killed by the Hellions, which, that is certainly going to hamper the growth rate of the Zerg's economy substantially. Looks like we're going to have a Ling counterattack. The wall up is going to get off, though, so... Okay, and there are Hellions and a Banshee, so he should be able to deflect this unless he is able to target down one of these building depots, which cannot be repaired. The Hellions, the Banshee, come down, though, and they are going to deflect this Ling attack away. Here come the Hellions to maybe try and clear this up, but actually they're all pretty low. They're all pretty low, and it looks like they are going to get taken on down. Stim coming up, 3rd CC almost done for EterNal. And I think he's probably just going to try and play this out super standard. Just because of how much damage he got done with those Hellions. Sure, he traded them out, but he traded them out for their weight in drones, as it were. And might even, if he maneuvers around this spore, might even be able to pick off some more. But just looking at the production tab, it's all the vittles and all the fixins on the way for the Terran. He's getting his, 1-1 upgrades. He's getting his stim. He's powering up the add-ons to have that 3-1-1. And, pretty soon, I'm guessing here, there's going to be that 3rd base as well. And this is where they're just like, Terran kind of hits overdrive. And they, they've kind of gotten out of that more delicate phase of like a tech defense of Banshees and Hellions, and they just have lots of Marines, lots of, actually it looks like mines this time and not tanks, just lots of Marines, lots of mines, and lots of medevacs to add that sustain. And I think in a few minutes here after he establishes the 3rd, EterNal's just going to start throwing raw units at his opponent, microing them well, and given the damage he's gotten done, I think it's going to be tough. We see another fast infestation pit, so I'm guessing another quick hive. But the Baneling nest just now starting. Baneling speed, therefore, pretty far away. And actually, even just still being annoying because he doesn't have detection. Those queens can deal with that, but not if they don't have detection. Really wants to save that queen. A nice transfuse keeps the queen alive and it is able to drive the Banshees away from his main. But one thing to note here, right? With a lot of Terran pushes, you see they've got a focal point of attack where they want to siege up at a spot, stim forward with their Marines, and have space to split back into. And typically you want that to be near one of the Zerg's bases. For example, here. And the fact that he's cleared the creep from here, while also distracting the queens means he has teed himself up very nicely to push into this area. Oh, is that a borrowed link? No, it's not a borrowed link. So these SCVs are going to drill it in the face, and it will die. But he knows that it's up there, and he's going to send a nice flock of lings to probably harass this third base. Ooh, want to get that mining. But here is the push. It's got a lot of mines, it's got 3 medevacs, and it's got a boatload of Marines. And it's actually, I think, going to maneuver down here towards the 4th and then maybe try and hit the 3rd. There's not a lot here for Steven to try and defend, but actually, there are the Zerglings, and they are going to just start clearing on up that mineral line. Ooh, there's a bunker there, though, and that is going to kind of prevent that. He's going to get into the natural, though, and draw the attention of EterNal away. Although those Marines, bing, bang, boom, clear everything up. But here comes the mega push. We see this 4th base. Oh, he's actually going to ignore it in lieu of attacking into this 3rd. Maybe smelling blood in the a little bit in the water and going for the friggin' throat. He doesn't want a piece of the cake. He wants the entire cake. And this is going to be a really tough hold. There's Banelings coming in from the back here, but there's mines. And these mines, ooh, most of the mines go down, but they get some great hits on the Banelings. There's not very many left over. If he can target down that last one, he's going to be in a great spot. Almost all of the Zerg has been cleared up, and the Marines are standing strong. The mines, a few of them still on cooldown, and he might be able to kill this base. 2-2 on the way as well to no upgrades from his opponent, and that is just a that's a monumental deal. Having adrenal glands is nice, but it means almost nothing if you're 2 attack or like overall four upgrades behind. Oh my gosh, EterNal. Did you really boost back to save that mine, you beautiful bastard, you? That was pretty cool. Just some more cost efficiency. But again, it's really tough for me to see Steven gaining any ground back once this 2-2 finishes. He's already economically in a very rough position, and these upgrades are just going to make it... They're going to make Zerglings look like a joke. In the same way that last game, when Steven got the upgrade lead and Adrenal with his Zerglings, they just kind of melted things. We're going to see the converse of that, or the inverse, where these Marines are going to have 2-2 versus 0-0 Zerglings, and it is going to be a laughable fight. It is going to be a laughable fight. Upgrades are important. And here comes EterNal. The Banelings are coming in. They are one of the units that can kind of subvert that upgrade lead. They're going to dive in on this one, and they're going to get some very good hits. And there are still a few left over. We see EterNal going to target down the Lings. In the meanwhile, his 3rd base has been completely ransacked by the Lings that were counterattacking, but oh goodness, that's a lot of drones that go down, and by a lot, I mean almost all of them that were at that 4th. That's now his 3rd. He's diving into the natural. GG is called. We are tied at 1-1. And you guys know the drill. I'm going to update the score. I'm going to adjust my stream thing so it doesn't look stupid. I'm going to put up my overlay, and I'll be back with game number 3. And just like that, we're back into game number 3. Did I? Yes, I did. I'm going crazy here. Going crazy, not remembering if I've updated the score, but of course I'm amazing. So I have. I have done that. I will probably forget the next time, but this time I'm awesome. Anyway, let's talk about actually important things, like who we got here. In the bottom right-hand corner, representing Risen, it's the yellow Terran EterNal. And in the top left-hand corner, we'll get to that. But in the top left-hand corner, representing Pigpan, it is the purple Zerg Steven, stating that they are going to trade no Hellions for no Nidus. A fair trade. A fair trade for EterNal, as he is proxying 2 barracks. Which seems like woot, cancels. Oh, he drone scouted. He sees no barracks at the front, triggers the cancel on that, immediately throws down a pool and comes and scouts this. That is a clutch drone scout there. Oh my goodness. That is some star sense there from Steven. Knowing that EterNal is a macro player, but just, we've seen EterNal do this before. He'll mix in something like this, a proxy 3 racks, and just see, I know I can normally win in a macro game, but if people expect me to macro, if I throw in a cheese, I might be able to get him. Oh, that Marine's in a pretty good spot, but the mineral walk through is disgustingly awesome there from Steven. And this is going to be shut down really hard, I feel like. Ooh, is he even going to get one of the SUVs before that barracks finishes? Now he's going to retreat, and I mean, this rush is almost over before it started, but a lot of drones were pulled to do that, and they were pulled very far away. And he's still only on 1 base. 6 lings coming out, and this could get a little bit dicey, because I think it's going to be a decent while before EterNal has anything behind this wall. And if he can get Zerglings there, and he can, either break down the wall or pull SCVs away, or just kind of whittle it down, force SCVs off the line to repair, force them to use the money on those repairs, and that can add up and get you an advantage. Ooh, is going to get that depot down, which is very important. You do not want to let the lings in. Looks like there's a little bit of a skirmish across the map with some of the Marines that were retreating and the Zerglings. This Marine is going to run away, and it will die. It will die, but... Okay, so 2 of the Marines die for all of the lings. Oh, wait, did he kill it? That drone just killed an SCV. EterNal scanning says, "Whoo, you don't have a natural, bud. That probably means I should build a bunker." And I think that that's a smart decision, as there is a roach warren on the way. So I'm guessing it's going to be Ling Ravager. Although he doesn't have a lot in gas. Actually retaking the natural now is Steven. And he is going to maybe start to get aggressive, but this Marine made it behind the wall. And you might be like, oh, it's 1 Marine. That's 1 more Marine, which means you can't do that. You can't just sit there attacking the depots, which is actually a really big deal. The 1 Marine that made a difference, guys. Another scan. Does that? Yeah, no, that sees. That definitely sees the Roach Warren. And the lair actually goes down, so potentially a Nidus play? I know I sound like I'm saying Nidus a lot, but like, there's not really the economy to go up to mutas. And I'm not sure exactly what else that lair could be for. Considering that we are in a low eco situation. 12 more links coming behind this, so my guess is he wants to bust down this wall and scamper on in with Zerglings and try and clear it out. Okay, there's the Overlord. He's going to be able to use that to gain high ground vision for himself, but this is important. A Cyclone, critical for holding rushes like these. As they can pick off Ravagers if they get too close. They can pick off the Overlord to deny the high ground vision, which is almost necessary to make this work. But still, Cyclone's not out yet, and it requires him to control it properly. Another scan goes down in the main EterNal, making sure he's on full information. He's actually going to go to the low ground. I think, okay, once he sees this, he's not actually going to land, I don't think. Oh, but it actually does get him vision. I didn't even realize that. Oh, and that vision means that's a dead Ravager. That is a dead Ravager. And if he can lock on to this Overlord, he might be able to kill it. And it dies, which means that I don't see how Steven can really threaten here. Right, he needs high ground vision, or else he's going to sack units anytime he wants to go up the ramp. Right, EterNal's going to keep that depot raised. Ooh, see the Ling just evaporates. He's going to go up, he's going to drop. Ooh, he's going to drop Biles onto those depots, but they are just going to get straight up repaired. And now there's 2 Cyclones, which means getting within range is going to be a dangerous prospect for him. Ooh, he's going to have to run back up the ramp to the safety of that bunker, and he does make it. The Lynx get in, but they are going to retreat out when they see how many Marines were there. They don't want to contend with a force like that. There is a Nidus behind this. Ooh, actually getting some poke down on one of these Cyclones. And still some Ling Ravager out for now. He's going to start to poke down this command center. He's going to be locking onto these units, and ooh, a lot of nice dodge on the Bile. Does not want to just eat that to the face, and he doesn't. Third base coming up now for Steven, so I think he's going to try and transition out of this aggression a little bit. Maybe use the Nidus to try and keep EterNal in his base while he drones up. But this is a scary army EterNal's amassing, considering the low eco, and he's going to be fighting roaches. Like the 2 Cyclones are going to be great for high priority targets like slow roaches and like Ravagers. And getting a few tanks out, very, very, very good against low numbers of roaches, even high numbers of roaches. Heck, I mean, but it looks like we might actually see the sneaky, sneaky Nidus into the back of the base. These 2 Cyclones are out on the map, which means they're not available for defense. There's a heck of a lot of army, but that army is not back here, and he's not moved it over just yet. He's going to pick off what looks like an Overlord at the front, which is nice. It's going to supply block Steven pretty hard, but here come the Queens, the Roaches, and the Ravagers. This bunker doesn't stand a snowball's chance in hell at surviving, but that's a lot of Marines, and these tanks are going to siege up, and ooh, huge hits from the tanks. He has to stay out of range there, and these Marines have stim, which means they're going to dodge those Biles, and they are just going to unload their DPS while the SCVs tank. 15, ooh, actually a lot of the SCVs do end up going down. Let's see, 19 in total. Oh my goodness, there's two Lings in the natural that are just wreaking havoc on these. Ooh. Okay, 27 SCVs go down in total. And that's actually a lot of damage. Ooh. Pew. That's actually a lot of damage. You know, if that hadn't happened in the natural, I would have said that that was 100% not worth it. But considering all of the SCVs he got in the natural as well, taking a look now, he's severely diminished the worker count of the Terran. He's not out of the woods yet as the push is coming across the map. And it's a scary one. It's a scary one, but if he can maybe delay till Banelings, and maybe flank and try and get a good connection, thought a bug would hold a deal. Yeah, remember they did make an agreement at the start of this game, no Hellions for no Nidus. The bug did not hold the deal, there was a Nidus. But what are you going to do? What are you going to do, man? The Zerg. You can never trust a Zerg. But anyway, this is just gross tank positioning. It is gross. It's going to allow him to just kite back, and there's really no way to engage in this. So much coverage. He's going to be able to start pressuring the natural of his opponent, and when this natural goes down, I mean, that's really the lifeblood. Where's that Nidus? Oh, actually Nidusing back into the main, so maybe going to go for a base trade. But it's just not enough roaches. If EterNal can micro the tanks, maybe pull some SCVs, he's going to be able to get so much damage done. At the same time, he's going up into the main. He's going to dodge these Banelings, and those roaches are going to be forced out. Oh, there they come, and he might be able to bomb rush this army. Some decent connections to start, but here come the splits, the splitteronis, and I think at this point, oh, what a tank shot. This game is done and dusted. Steven's going to pull the drones in a last-ditch effort, but I think we're going to see GG in a minute here as there's just not enough to hold. Everything going down. 21 workers. Well, wait. Well, maybe never mind. Wait, you still got a tank and a Marine that I feel like could kill everything here. Only 4 more Lings on the way. Oh, there's a Zergling. Oh. Pew. That Zergling goes down. Steven's down at 15 supply. Maybe he's not sure exactly the economy of the Terran. He doesn't know that like this natural is fully mining and that there's a third CC done, but he is this is not a winnable position. It frankly is not. Gonna siege up at the natural. And at this point, all EterNal needs to do is build units and decide to attack. Steven's going to run into the natural, and I think that's going to be the trigger to say, okay, yeah, GG. Scouts out, feels out his opponent, realizes he's in a rough spot, and is going to tap out. He's going to give EterNal the 2-1 lead in this series. I'm going to throw up my overlay and get into game number 4 here. Here we go. Game number 4. Let's just introduce these beautiful badasses that are battling for us. Top left-hand corner is the yellow Terran player. It is EterNal. And in the bottom right, his opponent, the purple Zerg player, it is Steven. Actually, I have a brother named Steven, but I don't think that this is my brother. Because my brother named Steven does not play StarCraft. Therefore, it's a reasonable assumption that, okay, let's stop going on a random tangent about my family lineage and note that there are 2 extractors and a spawning pool going down, leading your boy here to believe that this is a textbook Ravager all in, right? Yep, that drone is 10 out of 10 going to make a Roach Warren. Double gas this early, it can really only be one thing. It can really only be one thing. I think the big question is EterNal going to SCV Scout? That's super, super important to stopping this. It's not unholdable if you don't, but it does make it easier because this attack just hits so very, very hard. It hits so very, very hard, and he is. That's going to be very important. He's not going to go to the Reactor Hellions. He's going to be able to get up to the Cyclones more quickly, and those Cyclones are what he needs, but already the Roach Warren is almost done, and that's the real strength of this attack. Obviously, not its size, but the speed at which it hits. So we see the Roach Warren finishing up. He's built extra Overlords like you're supposed to clear up space to build those roaches that are very supply dense, and he's gonna see, oh, okay, and he knows exactly what's coming at him, and we're gonna have to see what his response is. Gonna build a marine, I would guess probably a factory and a bunker as well. The Ravagers are being morphed in across the map. They're gonna make their way over. There is an Overlord here that's gonna be in position to get him the vision he needs to drop those corrosive piles. There is the factory. Is that gonna be a bunker? Or you? Yep, and there is the bunker. So far, EterNal, I think, making all the correct decisions on how to defend this. This Reaper might be able to delay. Oh, no, it cannot delay. Cannot use its grenades to delay because it is dead. And when you're dead, you can't throw grenades. There's going to be a few Marines out in this bunker to provide a little bit of extra DPS, but mainly to buy time for him to get up the Cyclone/Cyclones that he needs to defend this. That is very good. He's going to be able to finish that command center, which means he can lift it, he can use it to get vision, and more importantly, he doesn't end up canceling it and having to stay on one base. Right, he's not going to be able to use it for mining, but the fact that it's still alive is very good. And oh, actually, this depot just gets straight up bursted down. This Overlord in great positioning to get vision on that high ground. He's going to bile in between the buildings, dealing heavy damage to both of them. EterNal, though, has pulled SCVs to repair. More bile's going to go down. Ooh, gets those buildings low, but he doesn't quite have enough to straight up kill them. And with those SCVs there, ooh, he's going to have to pull away. Oh, is he going to get the bunker? Is he going to get the bunker? Oh, that came so close. The depot does burn down, though. And Oh, but he's lost some of these Ravagers. Taking a look at the units lost tab. Actually, Eternal has lost more, but I think that one unit is a Ravager, as that's what costs 200. And you want as many corrosive bios as you can possibly have to try and burst down the bunker, and then after the bunker's down, generally is when you can actually start pushing up into the main. And trust me, he definitely wants to push up into the main. Ooh, this Overlord's getting a little bit too close, and it is going to get taken out. And again, that is just brutal. He needs the high ground vision. The next closest Overlord is not close enough, because now he's going to have to go all the way up here, which means those two Cyclones are going to lock on and just evaporate a Ravager every time. Already dealing some heavy damage. Kind of mistimes the scan a little bit there, but still, I think he's in an alright position here. And Steven has started the transition already. The hatch back at home is almost done. He's pulled out of gas to focus on queens, to focus on drones, but the question is whether it's enough. Oh, that's a huge supply block. Oh, and not a natural one, a forced one, right? He's taking out overlords, and it's so expensive. It's so expensive to have to replace overlords when you're already in an economic not very happy place. That I don't know. I think this looks very, 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 very solidly in favor of our Terran player. Now, he can shark around with these Cyclones, get pickoffs if he comes at a good angle, maybe get a Ravager, but actually, Steven very wisely is going to hold this high ground, and he might be able to pick off one of these Cyclones unless EterNal reacts right away, but she does. Great positioning by Steven and great reaction time there by EterNal to not lose the Cyclone. More and more drones coming up along with Zergling speed, though. Meanwhile, EterNal establishing the natural. Maybe going to go for a push here, as he does have some Marines in a tank. He's getting up to those Banshees, though, and that's going to be some power. Ooh, is he going to be able to get that before he gets to the high ground? Oh, that has to be just before. And he's going to lock onto this hatchery and say, no, thank you. I don't want a Zerg having a third in this game. And Steven really, even loses another Ravager. He cannot afford these economic setbacks that he's being forced with. Looks like he might be able to retake this third. Or actually, he's going to retake this third. But in the meantime, Cloak getting close to being done. Banshees almost done. And once the Banshees are done, man, things are going to get dicey. Things are going to get dicey. EterNal, a little bit supply blocks, but he does have depots about to finish up here. And still, he's in a pretty solid supply lead. Taking a look at the worker count. Oh, that is 8 in favor of the Terran player, which is not what you want as a Zerg. He's starting to establish this third base. And maybe going to try and do some counterattacks with these Zerglings, but not into that you're not. Gonna look at around the thirds. There is not a third, but he's gonna run into the natural, and that got shut down really hard by the tanks that were sieged up already. Lair finishing up, Baneling Nest just now finishing, but this Banshee is actually going around. It's already picked off another drone, and it's gonna get on into the main. Start killing some more, and oh no, 3 drones in total going down. Again, in a normal game, 3 drones, not the be-all, end-all, but he's already done so much economic damage. Ooh, and there's actually 3 Cyclones that are going to pick off a Queen as well, just getting every little pick off he can. This Queen also going to... is it? It's got 2 HP. It's got 2 HP. Is going to go down, so just a little bit here, a little bit there. EterNal slowly picking away at his Zerg opponent. And this is looking a little bit like the death by 1,000 cuts here. Actually, this Banshee gets a little bit cornered, but is going to find an angle to escape. These 3 Cyclones still alive, and just the units lost. The efficiency that we've seen out of these units is pretty insane. And considering, efficiency it's always good, but when you're already ahead, this kind of efficiency just spirals out of control. And we're seeing that. He's getting a third base on location. He's beelining for the third of his opponent. with a bunch of tanks and a bunch of Marines, and Steven's going to need a miracle here, as this is a deadly, deadly, deadly push. 5 tanks, that's a lot of tanks. Gonna come in. That Overlord dies supply blocking him, so he's not going to be able to build any more units for the time being. Starting to get that siege spread, is denying the 3rd base over there, but they're going to trade 3rd bases, and Steven needs this 3rd base a lot more than EterNal needs one right now. Stim is about to finish, which will allow him to maybe dive on these units. There are Banelings now, so maybe with some Dream connections he can hope to try and get over and counterattack, but more and more creep being cleaned up. He should probably get a spread on these siege tanks. There they go. They're going to anchor that low ground and allow this bio to push on up here. Steven's going to try and crash in from both sides a little bit, but EterNal baiting the engagement, letting his tanks fire as he slowly inches forward, and here's the big lockout siege. 1 tank does get biled down, but EterNal has had enough. He's going to stim into the natural. He's going to take out all the queens, all of the lings, all of the banelings, and the marine count remains almost untouched, and I think that he has taken a 3-1 victory for himself. GG is called. And EterNal is going to go on to the round of 4. So, that is our series for today. Hope you guys all enjoyed it. Certainly congratulations to EterNal, moving on to the round of 4. Posturing at a late run in this tournament, but also props to Steven. He had a very difficult draw in his round. He's played some excellent StarCraft, both in this series and the series that have led to up to this point. So hopefully we'll see more of him in the next season of RSL, and maybe some other tournaments, because I'll tell you what, he's a very strong player. He's a very creative one as well. So hope to see more of both of these guys, but like I said, that's going to be all from me. If you're watching this live, if you're watching the VOD, and you're not following my channel, might I suggest following my channel. There's my shameless self-promotion. Got that over with. So I'm just going to wish you guys a fantastic Saturday evening. Good night.